Ansu Fati scored a banger last night as Barcelona beat AC Milan 1-0. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the tactics. Maybe Xavi did some adjustments. But before we do get into that, join the family by subscribing to the channel. Also turn on the notification bell, as that will be helping us a lot to grow this channel. So let's get right into the video to see how Barcelona really looked different with different personnel, and how Xavi tried to actually make us unpredictable against AC Milan, of course, to also see what Xavi did differently from the game against Real Madrid. So let's get right into the analysis. So this is the lineup that Xavi went with. Araujo at right back, and I think there may be something going on. We had a midfield of Pedri, Romeo and Lopez, with Rafinha, Torres and up front as our attacking trio. In the defensive phase, AC Milan defended in a 4-2-3-1 formation. This was mainly the formation that they had. But Xavi tasked his free eights to receive the ball just right behind the winger, because these guys used to defend very narrow. And then they would receive the ball in between the lines straight from the centre backs, where they could look to link up with the winger or even look up with Ferran Torres that was dropping deep to get on the ball. But AC Milan defended extremely narrow in the total width of their box, almost like too close to each other. They even allowed Eric Garcia to come forward with the ball, and he even did some switching to Rafinha on that side. This was because of the line movement that was made by Pedri, Lopez and Ferran Torres, where AC Milan had to cover up. I did see some great tactical awareness from Xavi, as I noticed that Alonso was playing as the left back. He's not your typical left back where he's going to overlap a lot of times. So we did see that he did invert to play next to Romeo. So we did see that Lopez and Pedri was like your free eights, Ferran Torres almost like a false nine. So we did have a 5-man midfield at times. Even though Ferran Torres was like slow out of the blocks, many times he was like offside. This, however, did pose its own problem, because now Araujo couldn't go forward and Pedri was playing very high up. So we did see that Rafa has to come back at times to actually receive the ball in the region over here, to then actually go and look to drive the ball towards the goal. Barcelona did revert into the more normal 3 at the back system, but we didn't see him more often and reverting next to Romeo. However, we did see him go on to the touchline a little bit more. Now, normally you would expect the winger to invert, where the fullback would go around the inverted winger. We actually saw that up they stayed wide, and it was Alonso who added another number like in midfield, where Lopez and Pedri, they came like a 3-man attacking midfield. This was again, like I said, tactical awareness, because Xavi know that Alonso is not a great runner, or he's not that fast. But he can string the passes between these guys and actually help them draw the defense narrow as well. That leaves up there in acres of space. So this is a tactic that I think we do need to look out for, because Xavi has great tactical awareness. And I did say like in the previous videos that we should look out for Xavi to see he's going to try something different. And this to me is like the first sign, you know. So Alonso and Araujo playing at the fullbacks is going to allow Araujo to go forward, you know. And we also know that it's Pedri there. In this case, it might be Frenkie de Jong who's going to play more closer to Romeo. But in this game, it was actually Pedri who played closer to Romeo. Another thing that I also noticed was actually extraordinary to me, was the fact that with Alonso doing this, we saw that Xavi actually had a total of 6 guys up front. And this is actually the problem Barcelona a lot of times have with the teams defending, like with a back five. Xavi is now flirting with the idea of having 6 guys up there. We also saw that even Alejandro Balde, when he was assisting Ansu Fati, he did an underlapping run. We might see a lot of that this season, guys. We might see a lot of that. You know what this is going to do? This is going to draw the opposition's wingers like backwards, and actually make them defend a little bit more deeper. Of course, we're going to still have to see if Xavi wants to do this against bigger teams. But with Araujo, Koundé and Christensen that's going to play here, of course, I think Xavi is going to push more forward. And as a Barca fan, I think this is very, very encouraging for me to see this. But of course, depending on the personnel, I think with Busquets now gone, you have a guy who's winning balls. So I think Xavi will be pushing his guys and his attack up further to the pitch. That's why we saw 6 guys against these guys. Varane was dropping constantly, drawing players out, but unfortunately Lopez and Pedri didn't actually take advantage of this. Ferran Torres really caught my eye in this game with his movement particularly, because he wasn't a static number 9, he was more like a false 9. This is where we talked about in previous videos, in the video that I did about Ousmane Dembele, that Ferran Torres is going to play up front. But we just need these guys to actually run ahead of Ferran Torres, right? Because he was never really static like you would expect him to be, like, for example, Robert Lewandowski, but he was more like a third attacking midfielder. This is problematic for your central defenders, the opponents, because do they go out or do they stay? Because all 3 these guys have a great shot in them as well. So if they can receive the ball in this area right here, they could easily take on the goalkeeper. Or when somebody comes out, they could easily just release the ball and put the other guy ahead. But also I have to mention this, the fact that Lopez and these guys were in between the lines. Like I said, the guys played extremely narrow. And up there was like a nightmare for this right back. He played from out to in, where he would receive the ball and run after the ball on that side. But he was never really static on the side. He came in as well. Guys, thank you for watching. I want to thank you for clicking on this video. I want you to stay tuned for the second part of the analysis. There's so much tactics to discuss to put everything in one video. Thank you very much.